From Belladonna's Botanicals for another installment of the Occult Insomniac live stream. Um, so hopefully I got the setup right. I usually have to check because I don't trust myself on my Mac. I should be live now. Anyways, I'm seeing people coming in, so that looks promising. Am I live on here? Yes, I am. Hi, Soaring Eagle. How are you doing? Um, always weird wearing glasses when you're doing videos because I get the depending on where I'm at, I get the weird like uh, what's it called ring light glow on my glasses. Hey there, good to see you both. Um, while waiting for people, sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's we finally had a nice day in Philly that was weather-wise was nice. It just has been raining incessantly lately, but didn't really do a whole lot. I was kind of tired, but while we're waiting for people to show up, I do have a couple new things I wanted to show off. I do have finally got around to bottling. This is the Return to Sender protection spray. It's similar to the other protection sprays I have, like the invisibility cloak and the um, vampiric energy protection, mirror warding, and the magical attack one. So I'm gonna have this up hopefully sometime tomorrow. And that's Return to Sender because I just had released some other Return to Sender products, and I now also have a Return to Sender incense. So that'll be up tomorrow too. And I've been doing. I'm making my way through the conversion process of doing all my ritual oils in the 1 ounce dropper bottle. So I got through Lucifer and Asmodeus so far this week. I think I have to make the binding oil tomorrow and maybe Cemetery Magic. So Lucifer and Asmodeus are already available on my web stores. So, but those other ones will be soon. It's like intermittently warm and cold. So now that I have my sweater on, I'm like warm, and I'm not sure because it's that lovely time of year where I have to have the thermostat set to both have the heat and or air conditioning on because who knows at what time when it's going to get below or above any threshold there. So it's very annoying. So I hadn't really planned too much tonight. As far as commentary, well, to talk about, I was thinking a little bit about talking about some of the AI art stuff, but I did not give myself enough lead time to be able to do a screen share to show it. But one of the things I've seen, you've probably seen it going around Facebook, is this was it like something called it was something someone did with AI to make it look like one of the uh like Baphomet's after school a reading program or something like that. But people are passing this around like it's actually a real thing, and of course the people have some of the opposition has bandwagoned on this, and that's what they're thinking the Satanic Temple's after school Satan program is like. I'm like, no, it's just a bunch of old goths teaching arts and crafts. But like one of the things like when I look at like the AI arts is because hi, I have a BFA in art history and studio arts, so spent a lot of time doing art and studying art and learning about art. So I looking at these photos, I could tell there's a lot of little tells, and one of the things that um it's an expression that comes from well, I mean, it's been used over the years in various contexts. I became familiar of it when I was doing stuff with virtual reality many, many moons ago, and it's called the uncanny valley. It's when something looks so hyper real that's not, that it's sort of like causes your brain to sort of misfire about it because it, like when you look at something like that's robotic or android or something that has like audio visual effects, like I had that problem. What movie was it? I think it was like one of the Transformer movies. It was like it was so hyper real and everything moves so fast. It was so jarring to me. Um, but the way you can detect AI art when you're not sure is, does it trigger that uncanny valley? And if you really close up in on it, like one of the things you can tell with it that is a dead giveaway is the hands. And like looking at all these pictures of, kids dressed up in like satanic, like pointy hats and stuff like that. They have no facial expressions and there's no shadows cast anywhere in the photos. I'm like, that's an interesting, trick there too, because I've done plenty of photography, and let me tell you, all the lighting in the world can't take away, and Photoshop, you're still going to have shadows. I mean, even here on the ring light, look at my face. There's, you've got shadows from the glasses, or, if I put my hands close to the face, you can see shadows. That's all missing. It's all too smooth. And the telltale sign usually is the hands. And I can tell you one thing from many drawing classes and painting classes and even photography. Hands are one of my least, and feet are one of my least favorite things to have to draw or paint. Because they're very, and also in photography, like, it's easy to be like, oh, look at me doing a glamour pose, and you're like, look at my monster hands, rah, and suddenly, you're like, look at me, I'm a Tyrannosaurus, and trying to look sexy, and it just, hands are weird, as are feet. But that's one of the things you can tell in a lot of these AI photos that render very poorly, and looking at the proportions, because in this particular instance, a lot, like it all had children in it, and some of them I'm like, okay, their forearm was like, this long, but or their upper arm was like, this long, and then their forearm was like that long, or they had really large hands based upon how small and the age of the child, or they were sitting awkwardly, or some of them didn't even have faces that were in the background. So, but this was something like, it's daunting now. I mean, I can see that there's benefits to AI in various areas, but when it comes to actually making art, because there are people now who are claiming to be AI artists who are making like AI art tarot decks and oracle decks and things like that, and that's so insulting to people who have spent their lives honing their craft, getting degrees and stuff, and I could just keyword punch in a whole bunch of words and get, spew out, Lucifer, on Lucifer in a Winnebago on fire in a, oceanic setting, and get something that it'll churn out there. That's using words to describe something. That's not creating art. And people are using it also to write things. I'm like, occasionally I wish I had a ghostwriter to write like my product descriptions, but at the same time, that's not the type of thing I could use AI to do. But people are, using it to write, novels or stories and claiming to be writers. So, no, you're fake. You just know how to use keywords. But I digress. Now I can see, or some people who will create the AI art and then be like, well, I edited it in Photoshop. I'm like, good for you. We can edit anything in Photoshop right now. I'll get off my soapbox about it, but it's sort of like, yeah, I've kind of gone back and forth. Like some of the AI art looks really cool, but it's also how that art is created is by, basically screen scraping all of the art and styles and things like that from the internet, from people who have created art, who are not being compensated for this, and their artistic styles are now being gobbled up by AI artists. And it's kind of disgusting and gross. So I will get off my AI sucks soapbox there. But so are you going to have the 2-ounce twist cap style option available? These ones are 4-ounce. I do have some that are 2-ounce. I haven't decided, because I do have a couple, just easier sometimes to order all of the same thing, because the difference, I don't have any, I think, handy, but the difference between getting the 2-ounce bottles and with sprayers and the 4-ounce bottles is I have to get a sprayer that has either a different length, or I have to cut half the spray. I don't know if you can see it. It's the spray not thingy inside, or I have to cut it when I'm packaging them. I don't know why my screen just went dark there for a minute. Do I have battery? Yes, I have battery. I don't know if that was weird. But yeah, so I haven't decided if I'm gonna do this one is 4 ounce, but I think the transmutation spray is 2 ounce, the mercury retrograde and the crystal grid activation ones are 2 ounces. So yeah, I've had to switch a lot of things around because I used to use like glass bottles for these, and then at some point in time last year, so all bottles have these different like little ridges in them, and for whatever reason, the glass bottles they changed the way the ridges go, so none of the sprayers or caps or anything I had fit them. Like I have a whole palette of glass bottles that I have no use for because I don't have anything to put. I don't have any caps that fit them properly. I think the only kind, like I would have to order them. They would just be like the larger dropper caps, but I don't sell oils in like this size to use a dropper with. So there's just a pallet of them sitting in my basement. Always something. So one sec. Forgot to do something. Forgot to message one of my mods to see if they were around. Winnebago, yeah. Um, yeah, so, well, where did I leave off with the AI stuff? But yeah, that was just something that, like, I've heard a lot of, so a lot of things for and against. And in certain areas, our AI is great if you look at like crunching, a lot of data and stuff like that. I can see the benefit for it in that sense. But creating art or music, it just seems to be kind of icky. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like I've heard about the NFT thing and I just never have looked into it. Um was it stands for non-fungible something, I don't know. Yeah, I mean the AI, yeah, it's one of those new things where it's kind of like hitting a lot of nerves and things, but like I'm constantly seeing ads for it. Like there was one that just popped up on I think Instagram about like some AI app where you can do like your product photos with these great AI backgrounds. I'm like, the problem is it looks like something floating in the middle of it. There's nothing tangible about it. It's like, and it was so big. The backgrounds were so busy and weird that it's like it almost took away from the product image. And I like doing my own product photography because God, I do have that art school degree I have to justify. So I do all my own product photography. Hi, Bonnie. Question. You said Lucifer and Supernatural was more like Belial. I guess it's kind of confusing since they put a twist on the biblical Lucifer, but egg, could you clarify? It's just the personality of the Lucifer and Supernatural. I like to look at how different entities are portrayed in pop culture. Like I think sometimes like when it comes to like Lucifer, there's a lot of different Lucifer as well. There's the Lucifer TV show, which I think is probably a little more on point personality wise, but a little bit. But or like the Lucifer in American Horror Story Apocalypse. That was a little more visually, I think, on point. But what Belial to me always has that snarky trickster energy. And that was the energy I got from the way they portrayed Lucifer and Supernatural. It was a little more on the um I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. Like it was just one of the few spirits on there or entities they work with that just did not at all kind of seem like it lined up in any way. And hi, Hollywood, if you would like a occult advice, whatever person on your TV shows and movies, hit me up. Because it's you look at all these different portrayals, and this is a lot of times how there's so much, misinformation, or people get a negative connotation towards working with different entities. Like, I mean, I'm trying to think of all, because God, Supernatural was on so freaking long. Um, but like, I like the way they did Abaddon as this, hot fiery redhead. That I for some reason I liked. That seemed to um, work well with on that aspect. And then there were, characters they completely just overshadowed. Oh, the Lucifer in Sabrina was pretty well done, as was Lilith. And yeah, like, Belial's energy is a little more, it can be kind of aggressive at times, but it's also very snarky and very cynical and sarcastic. And that was how I felt the way that they portrayed Lucifer in Supernatural was embodying kind of that sort of energy more than um the Lucifer energy you see in other kind of adaptations and stuff. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, Bonnie, the AI stuff can be too abstract. It get like in the beginning I was talking about the uncanny valley of that when things become so hyper real that it messes with your brain in a way. And um it's you're like, is that real, is it not? And then you start kind of going into those questioning of it, and it's very odd and awkward. But it's like, once I realize when I'm looking at something, if it's triggering that uncanny valley, I'm gonna assume at this point it's probably AI art. What irritates me is that I use a service called Dreams Time, I think, which is like a paid stock photo website. I use it a lot for like the backgrounds on like my product labels, and also on like my YouTube thumbnails. Not a big issue, but how long is it gonna be before AI artists are uploading their crap there and getting paid for it and calling it art? I would prefer not to do that. But at the same time, I can see where it all depends on what you're using it for. Like, I don't feel like if you use it on like a YouTube thumbnail, it's that big of a deal. But if you go, look at my AI art and I printed it, and go buy it for however much, yeah, go fuck yourself. Because it's art in the way of, oh, I printed something off the internet on a piece of paper and now I call it art. Hi, Corey. What's up, Bubby? You are? Hi. Hello, buddy. Hi. Oh, hello. Oh, hi, Moon Moon. The cats are celebrating the full moon, as felines like to do. So I've been, yes, I had a long conversation last night of, Moon, why are you in the refrigerator? She's not into people food, but there was a little like nook when I opened it in between like the packages of soda, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna go jump in here and sniff around. I'm like, why are you in the refrigerator, cat? What is it? Hi. Hi, buddy. Want to say hello, Corey? I know everyone loves Corey. Corey says hello, happy full moon. Bloop bloop. Oh, Bubba. I probably need to get like a secondary chair so my cats can sit in it while I make videos, because I'm constantly having to like, move one of them out of the chair so I can sit down, and then they're like, hi, pay attention to us while you're doing stuff. Yeah, the entities on Sabrina, I think, were on point. I don't know. It was a little, the Beelzebub and Asmodeus on there were kind of okay. I kind of like the Asmodeus from Supernatural though. I don't know why. Asmodeus. You know, that kind of like, what's the word for it? It's almost like speaking with like cotton in your mouth. Kind of. Why does my screen keep going weird? My screen keeps kind of going darker, like I'm not actually doing something. A thing I'm curious about, because I noticed in the past couple live streams I've done, it seemed to have like mirror image my so like what's on this side, like what was appearing, like the bookshelf here is to like where I'm sitting my left, and everything else is to my right, and it kind of had it flip flopped. It was weird. Oh yeah, they did Loki dirty on Supernatural. Yeah, that was an interesting kind of arc with Loki and the Archangel having switched spots. There were always good episodes though with the Trickster. Um, Hi, Stara, if I said that already. Um, but yeah, it's always interesting how these different entities are portrayed on TV shows and in movies and stuff over the years. There's multiple episodes, Bonnie, in which the trickster it is uh, episodes with that. There's a few within like the first 4 seasons, and then later. My favorite though was the I forget the name of the episode, but it's the one with the Elysian Fields Hotel in the middle of nowhere where all the like gods are there for a meeting. It's like Kali and Baron Samedi and Balder and Odin, all these uh, and all these deities are there having a meeting. That's one of my favorite episodes. Yeah, I mean it's which one are you talking about there with the pagan gods soaring? Is that Sabrina or Supernatural or both? Um, I feel like in Sabrina they made the pagan gods in that one season kind of like with Pan and all that, like, and Medusa and stuff. Like I feel like they just kind of they treated it in a very different way. Oh yeah, Supernatural. Well, I mean, there was only 15 seasons of it, so um, I've only seen the first season of American Gods. I have to catch up on that one. So far it's okay. Um, Sabrina, the whatever the chilling adventures of Sabrina. The first time I tried to watch it, I really could not get into it, but actually, I enjoyed it. I gave it a second chance, and I've watched it, and I really did enjoy that. American Gods, yeah, that's Neil Gaiman. I have to give. I watched the first episode of or the first season of Sandman. I just need to give it a rewatch because high ADHD. Sometimes I don't pay attention to things very well, and it takes me a couple times. Yeah, I never watched the original Sabrina series. I mean, that was on when I was like in college or something. Although I vaguely no, I'm sorry, that was Clarissa Explains It All. Apparently, my ex husband's frat had like a Clarissa Explains It All drinking game. Um, but on American Gods, they did introduce Odin. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I have a few friends that are friends with Neil Gaiman, so um, in real life, as it were. So uh, it's very odd. I have a lot of unusual connections in the world that you wouldn't expect. Like I have a lot of like friends who are friends with so and so over the years. It's like, oh, here's the friend that was BFF with Courtney Love, and here's the friend that was, you know, yeah, Neil Gaiman, yeah. Um, Actually, the friend that's friends with him was my someone I knew who was my wedding photographer when I was married. I'm divorced now, but hi, Xander. Friends of friends, friends of. Sounds like someone did work for you. Yeah, I've yeah. Uh, some of which I'm not. Well, I don't know. I was kind of part of the sort of technorati for a while via my ex husband, so I have a lot of connections there. I'm like woohoo! I'm like 1 degree of separation between like, you know, every tech billionaire on the planet. Maybe two. I didn't have the books and I don't have the vision to see the pictures online for the most part. Who's the NT you mentioned after Kali? Uh, was it Balder? I think that's one. I'm not familiar. I'm not super familiar with Norse mythology, but I know it was like Kali, I think Ganesha, Odin, Balder, Baron Samedi. It's from Vodan, and what are the other ones? I'm trying to remember. Odin. Yeah, yeah. It's. I like to joke a lot because my ex husband went to. We're old, but my ex husband went to college with at the same time that Elon Musk was at Penn, and his BFF and Elon's BFF were friends, and apparently Elon Musk has always been a bit of a tool. I take some solace in that. Hmm. Yeah, it's actually I'll tell you the funny story because it is a celeb story of how I got into supernatural. So at the time, my ex husband used to run a conference at Penn. It was a tech conference, and this was a while ago. I think it was around season 8 or 9 of Supernatural. But for that year, it was when Felicia Day was the keynote speaker for this event, and I would help out. You know, I think I was taking I would think I was doing event photography and stuff, and I was kind of like her handler for the day. She's very tiny, um, but so how I got into Supernatural was because of Felicia Day, literally in person, like in part of her presentation. And it was actually really adorable because she had only ever really spoken on panels at like Comic-Con and things like that. And this was like the first time she was doing like a keynote presentation. She was doing all like the web series, like the Guild and stuff like that. And so she had done, so she was the keynote that year. I forget how long ago this was, but yeah, that's how I got into Supernatural, from hanging out with Felicia Day for a day. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's like on one hand, Elon Musk will do something really cool and awesome, and then he's just like a complete and utter tool. You know, Twitter thing is just, you know, him being a complete and utter tool. And I will say the Chuck Tingle recent Tingler on, you know, making fun of Elon Musk, and just for the title alone is pretty. Started with V. Oh, Baron Samedi. Baron Samedi. Baron Samedi, and I don't. So it's Baron Samedi and Maman Brigitte are sort of the Getty Vaudin, I want to say family. I don't know if that's the right term for it, but they're sort of like the Crossroads Graveyard, Death Current entities from that. I'm not well versed in Vaudin because it's not my thing. So, but I know that much. Yeah, I don't know. I will say the one person I'm not someone who's impressed by business cards, but the person with the most impressive business card I've ever seen was Steve Wozniak, who was one of the founders of Apple and who was a keynote speaker one of the years for that conference. And obviously, since after 9/11, you couldn't, you know, when half of your job is flying around the country all the time speaking at engagements, you fly first class, and apparently it's really annoying to try to cut a steak in first class with like plastic knives and forks. So he actually got these really cool metal business cards made that would get through airport security. And the sole reason he did this was so he would always have something to cut a steak with while he was flying. And I thought that was really cool. Some reason when I think of the Jen I work with, it reminds me maybe of considering working with. Interesting. One must have priorities. Although it was really cool though with Steve Wozniak. Like, I mean, he has an exorbitant like speaker fee. I mean, we're talking like 80 grand or something like that. But he donates it all to like charity and stuff. So, which I thought was kind of cool. Yeah, I've got a lot of I've led an interesting life over the years, so it's kind of like the degrees of separation game was always pretty hilarious. But back 20 years ago, which makes me vomit a little in my mouth to say, um, we were really active in a former incarnation of things Jen used to do on the internet. We were really active in Second Life, which was a virtual worlds, virtual reality platform, which was actually pretty cool, like in comparison to some of the other ones that were around at the time, because it was all user generated content and everyone owned their own. You owned the intellectual property towards anything you created in Second Life, which was really cool. Um, but so being that it was all user generated content, we all were able to kind of create things. So I created sort of like an avatar clothing line, which the funny part about it was the brand name I used for it at the time was Deadly Nightshade. So Deadly Nightshade, Belladonna. Apparently I'm thematically on point. So yeah, we were really big in we were in Second Life and stuff like that. Very early adopters. My Second Life, my first Second Life avatar turns 20 this December, which is just so fucking bizarre. But we got to know like the company and a lot of the owners and stuff like that. So, and ran like the conferences, and I'm in like documentaries on video games and shit like that, which is just very weird. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that part of my life. But yeah, I was in it was in 2006. It took me an entire decade to actually find the documentary that I was in. It was because we had done an interview with CNBC at the time for one of their, because CNBC is like a finance, I think, news channel, something like that. But so we had done an interview with them, and then later they had used my parts of the interview and turned that into a 2-part series that was like, I think it's on YouTube somewhere. I'd have to find it. I think I'm in part 2 of it, but it's called like the unauthorized something, a documentary of video games or something like that. But yeah, it was a wild ride. Second Life was a lot of fun. And guess what? I know you're not going to believe this. there was so much community drama. And that's a large part of why I left in 2007, 2008. I just got so sick of it in pervading every aspect of my life. And I was just like, screw you guys, I'm going home. Um, Thank you, Star. Yeah, I have a death clause. If I ever become boring, anyone is allowed to just unalive me at any point in time. Um, it's really funny because it's like even with my family, it's like at this point, my mom is fine. I'm very disappointed in the fact that I've run out of ways to shock my family. I mean, I'm in my late 40s now, so had to happen sooner or later, I guess. But I think at this point, in order to shock my family, I'd have to go deep normal. I'd have to like marry a doctor and become like some kind of country club conservative or something. I think that would be the thing that would shock my family at this point. They're like, "Oh, your Satanism stuff is so fun." I get little heart emojis from my mom when I post like products I make and stuff like that. I'm like, "Do you even know what doom oil is, mom?" I get the heart emoji. I'm like, "Yay. So good to get support." Yeah, I've never been conservative. I tried to be normal a couple times. It just did not take. And every time I had a little period where I'm like, I'm going to try to be normal, I came out the other side way fucking weirder than I was before I went in. So, I mean, my thing is be yourself. Like, whatever, you can be 48, almost 48, and have rainbow hair and be a weird, satanic weirdo doing whatever the fuck you want. Just be yourself, be your authentic self. Um, Yeah, I've got a lot of stories. Is one from I've had a very interesting life. Sometimes it feels like my life is boring, like now, like just because I spend a lot of time at home. But um, I've got the whole spirit world to hang out with and fuck shit up with, so still awesome. Yeah, I mean, back in my day, I feel like I'm turning into an old person. Well, I am an old person, but like it's like back in it was gather around, kids. Your Generation X auntie is going to tell you stories from back in the day. Um, you know, I was in high school at the time in which like the whole grunge and alternative, Kurt Cobain thing, all of that exploded into popularity. Prior to that, I was a freak. I was a big old weirdo. And then suddenly I was super popular and everyone thought I was really cool after that. So, yeah, it's like that whole period of time. There was like this transition in how I was, prior to like that becoming like the whole grunge and alternative thing becoming really popular, and then and all the people I remember saying like, "Oh, I want to dye my hair blue," and everyone's like, "Oh my god, you're such a freak! Why would you do that?" And then fast forward a little time. I'm gonna dye my hair blue. Oh my god, that would look so cool on you. Oh my god, you know. Um, yeah. And somehow I have never lost my 1980s Valley Girl like dialect. Um, Gadzooks. I don't even know what that is. You did the pleather thing. I was a metalhead first, and then I had a weird summer, and then I kind of went into like the proto goth alternative. I used to call alternagoth or proto goth alternative. I don't know. Towards sort of like the end of the like junior and senior year of high school. Um, but let's see what becomes a geology professor. Use Second Life to Second Life actually had a lot of really cool applications. Like one of the there were some areas that were because you could restrict access to your simulator if you own like land in there, and there was a lot of early work done with autistic children to for them to develop social skills using Second Life at the time to do that, which I thought was really cool. Hi, Lilith. were a lot of classes that were taught in there. Or yeah, and the great things of, did you know we invented I see this still thrown around today, this term, and I always hated it, but we accidentally invented it, was mixed reality. So in 2005, we held the first Second Life Community Convention, which was in New York City. It was in tandem with like some New York law school about virtual law or something like that. And what we had done, now you have to remember this is 2005. Streaming capabilities were not what they were today, like today. So this was a huge, huge technological undertaking. I didn't have much to do with it other than just kind of being there. But we were able to no, we were able to stream the conference from in person into Second Life while we were able to watch, interact with the virtual world from the conference. So and somehow they ended up calling it mixed reality, and I'm like, well, it just sounds like mixed cheese hoagie to me. I don't like this term. But anyways, yeah, rad dweeb. I don't know if I use rad that often anymore. Whatever. Um, I absolutely miss the 90s. Yeah, me too. Yeah, well, I mean, part of like Gen X is we were just always like, ugh, whatever, you know, like we were just cynical about everything. We were just born cynical about everything, so we just sort of were like, this is so like passe, or so, oh, it's popular now. I don't want anything to do with it. We were kind of snobby sometimes about things, and we like our obscure shit. I always felt like there was an undercurrent to find the most obscure thing to like, or with music or art or anything like that. So, um, and I mean, we are a treasure trove of dank, Gen X pop cultural references that no one gets. And after dating a few millennials, I think I'm ready to go back to dating Gen Xers, because I'm so tired of having to explain, like, say something really cool and then everyone just be like, "Huh? What's that? Who's that? I don't know. I wasn't born yet." Shut up. Actually, it was funny. Sometime this week, I just finished the video editing. I've been doing the series with the This Old Witch Journal, which is part of my occult origin stories. So I've been reading things in my journals and stuff like that. And like I found stuff like I wrote back then. I'm like, damn, I didn't even like millennials and Zoomers when they were just babies. I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I think I referred to millennials and Zoomers as the apocalypse generation. We were the sons and daughters of. My parents were not hippies in the 60s. They became hippies, however, after they retired, which is just weird. My mom was more of like a mod girl. My dad was just kind of a nerd. But yeah. But yeah, it's so strange because they were not hippies in the 60s, but somehow became hippies after they retired. They're all like tie-dye crap. The apocalypse generation, yeah. So I referred to them as, I was like, sorry guys, I don't actually hate you. But this was like me at 24, like the stuff I was reading was from like 1999. Then I had this whole like mathematical passage of time in which I was like, well, so I was 24 in 1999. So if you were born in 1999, you're 24 now. Weird. Oh, that's cool, Xander. Yeah, I was really into like beatnik, like beat poetry and stuff like that, and art. When I was in like high school and college. I love me some William Burroughs. Naked Lunch was a really amazing film adaptation of the book, and it is so hard to find, like anywhere. I think I may have had it on VHS, but VHS degrades, so who the fuck knows what happened to that after in the past 20 some years. Can we bring back the expression "get real"? We should. I'm trying to remember what like. I'm trying to think of the expressions that we used to use and that have kind of, we don't anymore. Granted, some of them probably should stay buried because they probably are not what is politically correct after all these years. Oh man, we used to have. I have to say the one thing though, with like the swag weed we had back then was great. Now, like weed will just like, especially with the edibles and shit. It's like Jesus Christ, I'm like feel like I've had surgical anesthesia sometime. Or it's like you get these blends and it's like I've got the munchies, but I can't physically move my body out of bed to go to the refrigerator. And that's why I keep snacks everywhere hidden around the house, just in case. I always am finding like snacks in weird places, like my bedside table, the drawer, the nook by the sofa. At least my desk is close enough to the refrigerator. I can meander over that way. Hello again, Corey. What's up? Yeah. Hi, Bubby. Oh, buddy. Oh no, that was even when I was younger. Like, some of those strains of marijuana back then, like. I used to give them different nicknames. There was the one batch we had, which I always called fort building weed because it was just the like I'm gonna build like a pillow fort and like watch Scooby Doo. I was probably in my like 30s at the time. And then there was the batch of bummer weed. I don't know why, but every time this particular like blend, I just always like, oh, I'm high. But yeah, there was a few that it was like, and I would tell people, I'm like, only take one hit, two tops. Oh man, I can handle it. I can handle it. And then they're like, I'm made of cement and I can't move. I'm like, told you. Bummer weed, yeah. Fort building weed was my favorite one. I mean, occasionally I would be a little too high, and I'd lazy fort build, and by that I mean pile a bunch of pillows around my head. Um, Bummer weed. Yeah, everything now is just so strong. Yeah, I do have that sometimes where I'm like, well, even now, like, it's but the Amanita muscaria gummies I use sometimes, which I actually have to get more of. Those ones are ones where I'll be like once it kicks in, I'm laying there, I'm like, okay, body, you just need to roll to the other side of the bed. You just need to turn to the left. Come on, body, we can do this. Nice, Sander. Yeah, medical stuff, medical MJ. Yeah, I gotta get my medical license thing. I have to talk to my doctor about that. She's supposed to push everything through. I like the RSO stuff that because depending on what state you're in, the edibles on the medical MJ side aren't available, so they sell this RSO paste that so you can make your own. It's just super strong, and it's like use quarter of the. Oh, hi Corey. There's Corey. Hi Bubby. What's up? Do you want to come up here? Do I need to get you your own? Do I need to get you your own chair, Bubby? Oh, buddy. Would you be amenable to sitting on the table? Sorry, cat related things. Do you want to sit on the table? Hi. Hi, buddy. I think, let's see, you're in the UK is, well, right now here it is probably close to 11 p.m. So, you're 4 a.m. I gotta figure the time zone and the flight. I think it's you're usually about 5 or 6 hours ahead, um, time zone wise. I think Germany is 6 or 6-ish, I think. Hi, Bobby. You want to sit up there? No? Oh, my goodness. What? There we go. Sorry, Corey was just looking at me very pathetically of like, I want to come, I want to come sit in the chair. Or I need love. Or both. He's a very ridiculous cat. Yeah, there was one experience. Oh God, this was maybe about 2006. Um, yeah, where we got completely faced, and I was trying to say, as you know, I was face down in the couch, that the words I was trying to say were my medulla oblongata fell out, which is part of the brainstem, because I was just that effed up. Except it came out my Paula Abdul pina colada fell out, which I think we still laugh about to this day. Our joke was always like, "Ha ha, your face fell off." You're shedding, Bubba. Yes, my Paula Abdul pina colada fell out. Um, oh, look at this kitty face. My old orange boy Max, he loved weed. That cat loved to get high. Oh my god. Yeah, the cats I've had since then aren't that interested, but oh my god, this cat was like the biggest pothead. Oh hi Bubby. I gotta move the thing closer because now that you're sitting on me, I can't read the screen from that far. Here. Now everyone gets to see Corey because it's all about Corey all the time. Good boy. He's a good boy. He is very happily purring away. I feel like I feel like some sort of like arch villain. I should have like a goblet of wine here, being like, what was that? Inspector Gadget. I forget the name of the villain with the cat. Um, yeah, I'm having some couch related problems myself because my parents got me the most awesome thing on earth for Christmas that makes getting off my couch is actually terribly uncomfortable. But it's this like body length memory foam. It's heated, but it also has targeted massagers in it. The heating pad alone is just like I'm like I'm so cozy. I can't get out of couch. Yes, look at this puppy. Look at this papa. I'm pretty sure Corey is like a soulmate cat. Um, he's just like the best. He's the goodest boy, as Bonnie would say. He's the goodest boy. Moon is. Oh, where Moon is? She's off doing Moon things. Oh, buddy. Corey, I need to cut your nails because you're currently digging them into my. Yeah, it's funny. I was recording a video last night, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the video, I'm like, ah! Because Corey sort of jumped up, claws first into my leg. Oh yeah, orange cats they're little weirdos and total sweethearts. Oh my goodness. 80% of orange cats are male. Which is weird, but my girl cat is mostly brown, but she's like half. If she comes out, I'll show you. Like half of her face is orange on one side. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you can hear him purring, but he is so happy right now. His tail's going. Doo, doo, doo. All right, great. If you could stop digging your claw into my leg, that would be awesome. Yes, that would be so awesome. He kind of has a little trill to his purr sometimes, which is absolutely adorable. Sorry, we're cutting my head out just so we can show you, Corey. Yes, just so you can be in frame. Oh. I'm often tempted because I usually just leave my setup here, just to have like a webcam live stream going of which cat is in the chair sleeping. Um, and I've come to discover that Moon occasionally meows in her sleep, so she must have really cool dreams. Oh yeah, Corey's an attention whore. Yes, he is. He's very happy right now. I think it's because he knows people are watching him somehow. Because at any given time, all Corey needs to know is that he's a good boy. Yeah, I should do that. Make a cat webcam account. Actually, that would be a great way to boost my views and revenue on YouTube. Just have like the Corey and Moon stream. Yes, Corey goes to the vet this week to get his dental exam to figure out his teeth cleaning and getting some teeth extracted. Yes, she's got some bad teeth, so send Corey some good vibes this week. He'll get very pampered. It's been really funny because he's got a lot of irritation on his gums, so I have to like put broth on the dry cat food, which Moon apparently finds grievously offensive. Because every time I do that, and I do have regular dry food for her. Every time I do this, she does that. You know how they like scrape the cat litter to bury their shit. She does that with the food bowl. She pulls their cat toys. One day my slipper was in there. She's like, this, what you're doing here is shit. I do not approve. Oh, buddy. I don't know if you saw him. He just flopped over. Oh. Hey, Stephen. How are you? I haven't seen you around in a while. Yes, Corey is very happy right now. So I'm going to be doing the live stream as long as my cat is happy. Oh, Bubba. I'm very uncomfortable, but because my hip is in a weird position. Look at this kitty. Yes, I'm free to answer any questions or talk about any topics but right now we seem to be stuck on how awesome my cat is. Um, I mean, look at that face. I mean, I just don't know how I exist sometimes with how cute my cats are, especially when he sleeps on my pillow, and then I'm like, yeah, I just started doing live streams again in like a month or so ago, or maybe in March sometime, like towards the end, mid March, end of March. So oh, purring very. I don't know if my camera is picking up him purring at all, but he's very happy right now, and he always sleeps with this little. He has his little paw under there. He's like. Let's talk about familiars and how to know for sure an animal is trying to tell you something. Well, I mean, there's a lot of different thoughts about familiars, whether you're, a physical kind of familiar in that sense, or if you're talking about like animal guides or power animals working in sort of like a shamanic sense. Um, but and there's also familiars that are non-animal form. Moon, I think, is more of a more of a witchy poo than She's funny. Like she will tell me when people are at the door. Like if I'm getting deliveries, all of a sudden I'll hear her be like, I'm like, oh, thanks, Moon. Vinay insists on making biscuits claws first. Yeah, they always do that. Like a lot of times I have to like, tuck, a sweater or a blanket under. Oh, huskies are beautiful. They're really nice. Like I work with power animals. So I've started to more. In some of my why does it keeps doing that? More in my like journeying in that sense, or in healing modalities. Um, I'm sorry, I just got distracted by him purring. So Corey, do you wanna star in my live streams? So you just need to like curl up on my lap and purr. Yeah, there's a lot of like there's a lot of terminology that kind of overlaps sometimes. Like I work with spirit guides in a way, but like my spirit guides are more. I feel like to me at least, I feel like spirit guides are different than familiars, but there are some similarities in which. Oh my god, my hip is about to like pop out of socket. Um, as long as Corey's comfortable, my pain and suffering is uh, moot. But yeah, so I mean, there's different types of spirit guides you have. You also have ancestral guides. Might not be all of your ancestors, or it might be certain ones, or even people in your life that have passed away. Um, there was an interesting movie. A lot of meaningful. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, a lot of my animal guides are birds. I think I have uh, the phoenix or winged at least of the phoenix, hummingbird, and blue jay are three of the bird ones that I work with. I think I might start working with raven. I actually have. I've been doing some rearranging. You can't see it just because of the way I have my camera, but I moved all my oracle and tarot decks over here. But one of the decks I've been using recently, and I really recommend it, is the Divine Animals Oracle by Stacy DeMarco. This one's really good because it really goes into like all the stuff about each of the animals, like what like deities they're associated with, or what like or certain like pantheons and cultures, and like how to work with that magic around that particular animal. I mean, if you work with Lilith, owls and Lilith kind of go hand in hand. I know the Morgan is usually like crows and vultures. Like Corey, I have to move my hip, and I'm so sorry. Ah, right. I'm just moving this leg now. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disrupt you, buddy. I haven't, Xander. No, the Raven and Crow accounts on YouTube. I know there is a part of a side of TikTok that's all about um, crows and how to make friends with them or something like that. Um, Hi, buddy. Oh, you need more attention now. Hi, Bubby. Where you going? Corey, you and your damn tail. Corey has a very active tail. Sometimes he gets a little like overstimulated, and his tail goes wild, which is really fun. So he's just gonna beat me with his tail because I moved apparently. Um, and cat butthole because it's not a live stream without a cat butt. Hi, buddy. What's up? What's up? But a lot of times when he sleeps, he tucks his tail under his paw so it doesn't do this while he's trying to sleep. because often it's my fault his tail goes wild, and he gets mad at me about it. It feels like the owl feels like a mix of Lilith and Ishtar. Yeah, I could see that. He's also got a very thick and heavy tail, so when he thwaps me in the face with it, it kind of hurts. Moon just has this little like tiny floofy like raccoon tail. Hi, buddy. What's up? Hello. You can lay back down. I just switched my legs because I was hurting. Oh, your headbutts. Hi, buddy. Also, just rescued a puppy. Oh, that's good. Yeah, most of the animals I have are adopted or rescued. Hi, Bubba. I love you. Yes, I do. Corey, I love you, buddy. Are we gonna sit back down? Okay, you're gonna headbutt me. He's probably gonna bite me very soon. I wonder if cats were out here to heal us. Oh yeah, I mean, I think that animals have a very. I think sometimes they're natural healers in a way that we don't always see or understand. Like I remember, I was telling Bonnie about this. When I was a baby. I was like 2 months old. My mom's brother was killed in a car accident, and I remember her telling me about afterwards the dog that we had at the time, the Cocker Spaniel Rusty, and when she would be crying, he would come up to her and lick the tears off of her face, and in a way that was just really comforting to her. And I think that animals can sense those things and help us. Yes, yes. So I know there's times Corey is just sort of like either they'll do something that's really funny to distract you from your misery or whatever you're going through, or they'll just come and be like, "Oh, hi, Bubby," um, give you the sort of healing energy you need. Like I know with because I do Reiki and stuff like that and crystal things, my cats love Reiki. Like I my Reiki teacher does a live stream a few times a week of distance Reiki healing, community distance Reiki healing. And like one time I left my phone over on the couch, I was doing something else. I came back and both my cats were curled up by the phone, like getting the Reiki vibes on. And the Moon was, what was I doing the other day? I was holding up different crystals to Moon to see which ones she liked, and she kept sniffing them. And then certain ones she'd rub her face on, other ones she would kind of do the full body thing with. Oh yeah, the Divine Feminine Oracle is really nice. I like that one. Oh, yeah. I think that we don't always give animals the credit they deserve for their healing qualities, right, Corey? Yeah. Oh yeah, you can post whatever. I don't care. Um, post links or anything. I don't think I have any restrictions on that. Some people have restrictions for links to things being posted on their. I mean, as long as you're not spamming up like porn links, I really, I'm not. I don't care. Oh, puppy. Hi. Good night, bugs. Good night, bugs. But yes, Corey is definitely a little healer kitty. He is. Oh no, it's fine. I don't. I really don't mind if you post links and stuff. Corey, what are you doing? I have a little end table next to me, which is wobbly, which now he's flashing everyone his cat butt. I turn it around. There we go. How's this, bub? How's this? Does that work for you? because it is all about you and what you need and what you want. Hi. Sorry, this has become the Corey show this evening, but everyone loves Corey, so. He's like, look, I'm sitting on the table. Now you can see me better now. I think he's getting angry at his tail for flapping around and just like looked at it like, oh. You are something else, Corey. Yes, you are. Hi, buddy. I can dip the camera back up so my whole head is in frame. Oh, we gotta take it back. Okay. Well, now that I can move freely about the cabin, I need a sip of soda. So how is everyone doing this fine full moon weekend? I think the energy shifted a little bit last night because, man, I swear to God, every freaking full moon, Bonnie and I are always messaging each other back and forth. I'm so tired. I'm so emo. And then I'll look and be like, should have known it was the full moon all along. Because the full moon's always like running all up like, surprise, motherfucker. Yeah, and for some reason I don't know why. It's not like we don't get a full moon every single month or 30 days or whatever, but it just sneaks up on me and I'll be like, I'm so tired or I can't sleep or both. And then I'm emo. I just want to lay on the couch and cry. And then I have a full moon, an app on my phone. I think it's called Moon Phase or Moon Phases. Where is it? Moon Phase. Okay, well now we're technically in the waning gibbous, but it gives you like all the information by each day, like what moon cycle you're in. I think I need. It didn't give me the. I have the notifications set to remind me, like, when it's a new moon, when it's a full moon, stuff like that. And it's like every single time the full moon one pops up, I'm like, oh well, that explains it. Because it's always just one of those weeks. Yeah, I'm like, I can't sleep. I'm so tired. I slept all day. I didn't sleep at all. I'm going to eat everything in my house, which I did one night. I swear to God. Yeah, sometimes like links are just weird. I don't know if it's showing up. Because they did change something. Well, no, I think I'm trying to think. Like, I'm pretty sure I don't have links restricted. Like if you want to just put like the name of the account, like you could just put like the account name, like at blah blah blah. If that's easier. So, Corey, what are you doing? Are you being a gargoyle cat? Turn you this way. A full moon time for me is I am tired as fuck and usually emo about it. Like I envy the people who get like all this new moon energy or full moon energy and do all these awesome full moon rituals. Because me, I'm just like, I'm just gonna lay on the couch and eat ice cream and watch Grey's Anatomy and maybe cry. True story, bro. I've already done that today, so check that off my list for the day. Yeah, probably my least witchy interest is I'm totally obsessed with Grey's Anatomy. Um, although I've always had like I like medical shows. It's my like medical dramas. I don't watch all of them, but certain ones I liked. Like I used to watch ER back in the day, and I let Scrubs was good, and Grey's Anatomy. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Chaos water. I don't trust the water that comes down in Philly. Dirty. I mean, it makes some good war water, not for nothing, but our water is interesting. Yeah, that's true. Everyone loves Corey and stuff. Everyone loves Raymond. Yeah, Corey gets he's gotten a lot better over the years, but he gets yes, yes, Corey. Um he's a little he gets a little anxious sometimes or overstimulated. So like and when he does usually like he'll be purring completely calmly, but his tail is like a freaking like uh going like a tornado. But I'm his emotional support human, so yeah. So Corey, do you want to answer any questions? Where's my food? Give me love. Yeah, I used to watch Nurse Jackie. That one was pretty good. I also like fire rescue shows, but not cop shows. It's okay if the fire rescue shows if there's cops that show up sometimes, but I don't tend to like cop shows. Yeah, I've been feeling that way too. Like just kind of it's the only way I can feel it is or describe it as just a stuck feeling. Kind of like, I always say like trudging through molasses or something like that. Where it's just like you're trying to do anything you're trying to do, you take two steps forward and 10 steps back and or you think you make progress but you didn't. Um, it's just kind of it gets annoying after a while. Or you just kind of get to that point where you're so frustrated because you can't get anywhere that it gets really trying and upsetting. Oh, Bubby. He is currently being a kitty loaf on my end table, which is just really. He's actually laying on a taro cloth, which is pretty funny. Corey, do you want to look over here? Just a girl and her cat. Oof. Yeah, that'll happen a lot of times during like full moons. And don't forget, we're still in Mercury retrograde until the end of the month. Um, and yippee for me, the next full moon is my fucking birthday. So I'm gonna be in a whole ass mood on my birthday. Not that I'm already not in a whole ass mood on my birthday, because guess who has, guess who, which dumbass decided it would be a really awesome idea to get married on their 30th birthday. It was freaking awesome for the 12 years I was married. Not so much for the ones where I've been divorced, because I'm like, wow, that was a dumbass move. You ruined your birthday. That's on you. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think Bonnie does some fire scrying too. I don't do a whole lot of scrying, and if anything, I do smoke scrying. But well, it might also depend, Lilith, on what else is in your chart. Like I'm an air sign, but I am a very watery air sign with a touch of fire in all the wrong places and no earth anywhere to be found. Yeah, this full moon has been like doing people in. Oh yeah, Scorpio energy is last thing. Could be worse. Could be Capricorn energy. I always joke Capricorns are the fuck your feelings of astrological signs. I kid. I kid. Capricorn's my family. Birthday wedding sounds well. I had to see now the great thing about when I was after I got married on my birthday, I was able to have my own holiday called the birth anniversary because Anna Earth Day sounded like some kind of hippie like Earth Day thing. Um, Yeah, my moon and rising sign are both Pisces, so I'm a Gemini, and with the Pisces moon and rising, I'm like, I like to talk a lot about my feelings. Yeah, my I feel bad for my Taurus mom because she's got all of us. My dad's an Aquarius, I'm a Gemini, and my brother's a Libra. So I'm like, she's just sort of like the tree that kind of holds us all and keeps us from floating off into the ether. All those air signs. I actually have a fair amount of Libras in my family. It was funny. My grandmother, my paternal grandmother, was mad at my mom for not giving birth to my brother on her birthday, which was September 28th, because her mother and her mother-in-law were also born on September 28th. So apparently my mom had a big no-no waiting, 5 extra days to give birth to my brother. Yeah, the energy, like for me, this one is like wow, like this moon energy has been really weird. Like yesterday, I was just, ugh, like just kind of trudging through the day. I just want to sit on the sofa and cry. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like towards like later in the evening, I just got this burst of energy and recorded like 5 or 6 videos. Oh, it says, "Hey, my partner and I are starting level 1 Reiki course next week." Sorry, that just disappeared on me. Okay, watching. It's hard to learn as I learn by watching more than reading, so I hope it's not taxing on the damaged brain. It depends on. I mean, with Reiki training, like I did mine all online. So it was in Zoom meetings and stuff like that. So sometimes we had some reading to do, but it was all like, she would talk about the different concepts and the different symbols. We'd get our attunements, we'd practice on each other, doing distance Reiki because this was also during, kind of in the early, not, it was in like 2021, but it was still in that kind of COVID crossover era. So, the things that are most taxing about Reiki training are the attunements. Like when I had the level 1 attunements, I think I just sat in bed for like a weekend and cried because it just like it brings up a lot of, for me at least, brought up a lot of emotional stuff. But like the Reiki 2 ones, my ears were ringing for like weeks. But what happens after those attunements is you're going to find like your psychic abilities and your ability to like channel and stuff like that just skyrocket. Corey would be punk rock. I think Corey would be more like emo. Are you emo, Corey? Corey or screamo, maybe. Moon would definitely be Riot Girl if she was hold on. 5 planets in Leo with Aries rising. Something else instead. Yeah. Yeah, I have no earth signs anywhere in my like astrological chart, which that's fun. Yeah, something is, I think my Mars is in Aries. So that's where my fiery temper comes from. Corey is punk, stoner punk. Are you stoner punk? Yeah, he's pretty chill. He's pretty chill. Yeah, couldn't you see Corey with like that emo haircut, or being like the scene girl haircut? Emo was a little bit after my time. I'm more old, an old school goth. Right, Corey? Fuck if I know. Oh, here comes Moon. Hello, baby girl. Are you gonna come up and say hi? Come up. Can you come up and say hi? Sorry, we have a Moon screamo. So now we have a Moon. Look at Corey being like, "What is she doing here?" So you can see Moon's kind of got like the Chimera face, like literally down her nose it splits, so she's like orange on this side. My cats, I'm pretty sure my cats don't know that they're cats because they act more like dogs. Um, that was a look. Yeah, there's probably about to be a cat fight on my lap. Or as soon as I let Moon go, they're going to go chasing each other. Because how dare I give Moon attention? Um, because all the attention goes to Corey. Anyways, yeah, they're pretty much like dogs that got stuck in cats' bodies. Isn't that right, Moon? Oh, he throws a stink eye like nobody's business. And when he's an asshole, he gets this asshole face. Like his ears go back, and he's just like, it is the funniest fucking thing. His jerk face is just legendary. And he'll be being a total asshole, and I'm just cracking up because looking at his face, he's like trying so hard to look tough, and he just looks really dumb. Yes, you do. But they're the two of them are just like really well matched cats for each other. Like they play fight a lot, which you can tell because neither of them make any sound at all, and it's very slow moving. And it's like they'll try to he'll try to antagonize her and then flop over and be like, "Look, I'm such easy prey." Kitty cat mosh, but yeah. They're endless sources of amusement. Yeah, he's looking to see what she's up to, which I can't really see from here, but apparently, do you have X-ray vision? He's going to go darting off at some point. I can tell by the facial expression. He's got the laser focus. He doesn't have the little twitchy butt thing that cats do before they go running off and attacking something, but they're both like sentinel cats. Fire and wine scrying, obsidian mirrors and pendulums. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know what it is about Capricorns, and they're like, feelings, ew, get them off me. They're so gross. I haven't tried wine scrying. I've done like herb scrying before because I end up with like a lot of because when I'm making stuff, like sometimes I have bad aim and I miss, so I end up with like a lot of herb. I have very herb encrusted counters, so I'll end up with like just wiping off the herbs, and sometimes I'll put them in a bowl, so and I'll be like they look kind of cool. That's because his tail is still because he had it was tucked under him. So when he lays down like that, a lot of times he tucks his tail under his feet. Oh, thank you. Yeah, depending on what color my hair is, my glasses either match my hair really well or completely clash with it. Um, because they're I don't know how well you can see it, but they're very like purple and green. I kind of wish I'd gotten the red and black ones, but I don't know. I think I got these in 2018, maybe. Wine's grinding and be like, chug, ooh, chug, ooh. Is there a type of wine that's better to scry with than others? Like, is white wine better? Pardon, is white wine better, or like red wine or rosé? Get in my belly. Yeah, yeah, my eye makeup, I kind of went with a peacock kind of motif as well. Um, yeah, I mean you can scribe with any. I mean, it would be similar. Would think to like tea leaf readings, um, any kind of like surface. Like you could do water scrying, like a dark water. Like I have some bowls that you can do that with. Whether you use like a black bowl or clear bowl, something like that. Like I've seen scrying in that sense. Hi, Bobby. Bath time. This is gonna be my most popular live stream because Corey's been in it like almost the whole time. I wonder if I can scry with my diet Dr Pepper. But what was I going to say? This cat though. See, I have some new videos dropping this week. I just did the one today. That is the book. I did some Lilith book recommendations. I'm gonna have one. I have to pull together the books, but I'm gonna have one on Lucifer, probably coming up soon. I think tomorrow's video. I was talking about the validity of spiritual experiences because good Lord, I like half the like stupid comments I get are people like, well, that's not my experience working with so and so, Lucifer, Lilith, whatever. Therefore, your experience is invalid. I'm like, really, is it though? So I did an experience kind of like on, I'm like, your spiritual experiences are valid. But, you don't have to agree with, they don't have to match up with other people's or agree with mine or other people's. But, it's kind of shitty when people invalidate your spiritual experiences. Like, no, you're doing it wrong. The very, very, very top books you can recommend on the occult. I mean, it would really depend on the area within the occult because, I mean, it's a really broad. I mean, whether you're looking at books on demonology, whether you're looking at books on a particular entity or pantheon, like a lot of books I have are on like herbalism. So I am working on more videos that I'm going to do in depth on sort of different topics, making recommendations on books in occultism, but I'm going to have to break them down thematically because it's hard to pick like what are the best ones. I'm like, well, the best demonology ones are this, or the best ones on Lilith are this, or Lucifer. I don't know that there's any one particular book that I'm like, this is the most awesome book ever. Just kind of looking behind me because that's where my books are. I did find my Slavic witchcraft book finally. I was looking for that last week, I think. But I mean, I could pick a random book and give you a recommendation based on that. Let's see. What book is here? Oh, this is a good book. Here, I'm going to give you a book recommendation. This one came out, I think, this year or late last year. I love S. Conley's work. And this is How to Draw Friends and Sacrifice Toxic People, not literally sacrificing them. It's Black Magic for Glamour, Influence, and Letting Go. Really excellent book. I mean, it's got a lot of great, like, practical advice and information. And it's also, like, I really love that the spells she includes in her books are always very accessible. You don't need 1,500 different supplies for them. You don't need to do them over the course of 300 years. What is that one? Conflict resolution spell. You need 2 white candles, a piece of paper, a pen, and the sigil of Hecate, So I like that because I think, like, there's a lot of books with a lot of daunting spells in it that take forever or are just sometimes beyond. If you're a beginner, it might be a little out of your wheelhouse, or sometimes they're like, you have to do this spell every day at 7 p.m. for 6 months. I'm like, the fuck I'm gonna remember to do that. Lucky if I can remember. You could probably scry with bodily fluids. I don't see why not. Oh, thanks, Bonnie. Yes. I always forget that. Smash the like and subscribe and yakety schmackety. I probably see if I miss anything. But this is a book I would highly recommend. The writing style is very accessible. It's not, and that's one of the things I like about her work. That was one I recently read. Corey, why are you've been taking a bath for like how long now? The thing with me and books is like I've got my physical books, I've got my audiobooks, I've got my like Kindle stuff. So sometimes it like that was for me when I'm putting together like when I was doing the Lilith video, I was kind of like, okay, I read this book. Where is it? Is it an audiobook? Is it a Kindle book? Is it a physical book? No, I don't remember that. The Death Clock episode with the Island of Kitties. No, I don't remember that. Red wine. I could see doing like wine and like a black scrying bowl. Like I have some of those. It could either be like ceramic or I had one that was made out of like, accidentally broke it, but I think it was made out of like bull's horn, maybe something like that. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can scry. Bubble bath scrying is legitimate, and I stick by that. So that was a while back. Someone said they make these little if you like fun baths, you can get these on Amazon. They're these little like water safe light up. They light up in different colors, so you kind of, they would look like these little things, like kind of like that, but they're plastic. You put them in the bathtub, so you can get some cool like bath scrying on while you're taking a luxurious bubble bath. Yeah, I don't know why the wine scrying. I don't know. Probably dating myself here, and this movie is actually pretty terrible. But if you remember the back in the 1990s, the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves movie with Kevin Costner and his extraordinarily bad British accent, and it wasn't barely even British. Um, but but the saving grace of that movie was Alan Rickman. But there's this old like witch in it, and she does like scrying with like blood and spit on like a stone. That's what the wine scrying just reminded me of, that scene. Corey, what did you get so dirty from? Goober. Yeah, she had like the long fingernails and was scrying with it. It's like I almost want to watch that movie, but not quite. It had its moments, most of which was just Alan Rickman being awesome. Um, I don't know. What if you did a shit spell on someone and then stuffed your nose with cotton and scrubbed the poo to see how well it worked? Overkill, but I don't know. Scry, not scrub. Okay, that makes more sense. And yeah, I mean, you would have to do something to kind of cover the smell of it. Although, pro tip from having worked in a hospital, and if you ever, this is what all the nurses did, and nursing assistants, where they would have to change like particularly odious bedpans or colostomy bags. Vicks Vapor Rub, if you put that under your nose, that's all you smell. It's a good blocker for getting rid of blocking any particularly nasty smell. Um, Catnip banana bath. Yes, Corey has now switched from his. He likes to bring. Corey brings toys to bed with him. A lot of times he'll when he comes to bed he'll bring me a mousey, or his catnip bananas. He always be like, boop. I'm like, oh, who's a good hunter kitty? But yeah, he brings toys to bed with him, and I'm constantly fishing toys out of my sheets or from under my pillows. Yes, you do. You bring toys to bed with you. It's very sweet. It's very sweet. That's a good question. When you are using a crystal or obsidian ball, how can you tell if you're scrying right? I, for me, I don't know. A lot of times when I do that kind of scrying, I do multi-layered scrying. So I'll also be like, I'll either have candles burning or like incense smoke. So sometimes between the incense smoke and the candles, you get a clear kind of vision with the scrying. Um, with like a whether it's an obsidian mirror or a ball or something like that. I have a crystal ball. I've never used it. Um, that's another video that's dropping soon is my about ritual tools and my favorite ritual tools and shit I bought that I never use. Yeah. That was my common thing when I worked in the hospital. I always had a little tub of Vicks Vapor Rub in my pocket. And I will tell you one thing: if you're really tired, break open a pack of smelling salts. Whew, you will not be tired after that. It's like, so I used to carry those in my pocket too. Which book was that? I may have missed the comment that the book or I forgot what I was talking about because I do that sometimes. Yeah, I love Audible books. I'm glad that they have expanded a lot more in their occult and metaphysical offerings, and they're not all those. One of the things you have to look out for, and I give this kind of to anyone who's really beginning on the path, there's a lot of like fake occult authors out there. They're not really they'll use like somebody's last name who's like a famous author, but they're not like, Cynthia Buckland. So you see the name Buckland and you associate with like Raymond Buckland and assume like maybe this is his great granddaughter or something writing, but it's not. It's just kind of like most of it, at this point, most of it is probably almost to the point of being AI generated, like occult stuff. But it's a lot of those books are like just cobbled together and stolen out of other people's books. So there's a lot of fake occult books out there that are like when you go and try to find anything about the author, they literally do not exist. Um, so there, like Audible had a lot of those for a while, where it was like and even Amazon, like you'll still run into them sometimes. Like I think Lisa Chamberlain was one. Trying to remember who there was a few of them. They're usually are more generic sound like, your complete guide to Wicca 101, volume, 1 through whatever, and you're just getting kind of stolen, copy pasted schlock and not really authentic stuff. So that's why I think it's important to also give book recommendations. And I mean, there's a lot of people who have those on their channels. I'm going to try to do more because I'm a book nerd. So figure, may as well make use of the 50 or so books I read a year. Yeah, and you might find too with different types of scrying, like something might work for you. You might find something that works better for you. Like I like smoke scrying. But a lot of times when I do smoke scrying, I will sit here and go and take a whole bunch of pictures. Or I recently with that, I had done with my camera app, like just a slow motion video of the smoke scrying. So you can really like, because I mean, sometimes the smoke is going so fast that you're not necessarily seeing what's coming up. Like I think it was a few years ago, but I think one time I had like from taking the pictures, I probably have it somewhere on my phone still. But like I had like a fully emanated, I think it was either Belial's sigil or Paimon's sigil very clearly in the smoke, which was funny because I was not doing a ritual with either of them at the time, but I guess they were like, hey. Yeah, so what Xander's talking about, the scammer who tried to misuse your products. So that was what that whole thing was. This is back, I think, in January or February. But so what this person was doing was a drop ship scamming thing. Now, dropship companies are legal. Most of the time you have, like, technically, like, Become a Living God is a dropship company for their non-book publication stuff. And so, like, when I was doing stuff with them, someone would order something from Become a Living God. I'd get a little, uh, someone would send me a message like, blah, 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 send this here. I take the order, send it to that person, and, then we would, split uh, the revenue. So that's typically how a dropship company would work if they were legitimate, is that, you'd have a contract with them and you would be sending out the products directly to that person through their dropship company and split profits. The way this person had set this up, and this is where knowing legalities about this is, they were using all of our copyrighted images and texts without permission, which DMCA claims are really easy to file. And the last I looked, that person's website does not have anything on it as far that they're selling, or someone I think someone told me that, but so it's kind of like, but what they were doing was they were just screen scraping product images and listing from Etsy, listing them on their website, marking them up, like something like this that would be like, say, $20. They were marking up as $100. And then what they would do if someone ordered it through their website is they'd sneaky buy it through Etsy. So technically, you were getting the money from it, but they were. So if someone bought this from me on Etsy, now I'm paying for shipping. I'm liable for it if it doesn't get there or if there's any issues with the product and whatnot. But they would buy it as a gift and have me ship it to that other person. Well, not technically illegal, but still kind of scummy, nonetheless, in that this person was doing nothing of their own. It's not like they were buying it's not like they bought my products wholesale and were selling them. I have wholesale deals with other things and whatnot. That's fine. But it's not like they were buying my product and ritually consecrating it with their creepy scumbag energy or whatever, and then charging $100 for something that they could, just, they were doing nothing and skimming off, artists and, sorry, there's a ambulance going by my house, because one isn't there, but yeah, they stole stuff from like Goetic Impressions and a whole bunch of other like well-known occult creators and things like that. Even other people's rituals. They had rituals listed that from other people on things that they weren't even performing these rituals, so they were selling other people's rituals. Oh yeah, S. Conley stuff usually isn't on. I don't think any of her stuff is on Audible. Sorry to. I just saw that pop up. A lot of it is on Kindle or Kindle Unlimited if you have that. That might also be because that one's newer. That just came out like within the past few months. But yeah, so like that whole thing with that guy, like he was such a creepy scumbag. Yeah, and again, Xander, it's like with all the people who like dupe, various accounts of like tarot readers or authors, and then message people, be like, oh, I'd love to do a reading for you, and then people pay for a reading, they don't get a reading, and then they think they're getting scammed by someone who's impersonating them. Because I've had people try that on me. I'm like, yeah, I know you're not this person. Yeah, it's so much. I mean, a lot of it I think is just almost probably a lot of it is just bots at this point that just go in and duplicate people's accounts and uh send out those messages and stuff like that, trying to scam people for. But if you're dumb enough to fall for that, it's kind of like when you get a phone call, it's like falling for a scam phone call. Give us your credit card number, your date of birth, and your social security number, and blah blah blah, and then suddenly your identity has been stolen. But I forget what I was talking about. Oh yeah, the dropship scammer guy. Anyways, I mean, there's a right and wrong way to do things, and that person could have set up their business in a legitimate way, contacted all of us, had contracts, whatnot. He just kind of was a grifter, basically, the occult equivalent of the dude on the corner selling socks out of a trash bag by the L. um, you know and marking things up to try to make a profit on it. I'm like, you're profiting off of other people's work, go fuck yourself. It's just like, there's so many ways this person could have gone about, and it was totally an asshole about it. Like, I think there's still a video up on his Facebook page where he's basically calling me, and I'm autistic, and whatnot. He's calling me an artard and slow and all this. I mean, it was reported multiple times on Facebook, and guess what? It's still up. But your dank meme can get you in Facebook jail for a month, because no one's actually going to watch a whole video on Facebook things. So, like, if he made a post saying that, it probably would have gotten taken down. Like, if it was text or something, like, it probably would have gotten taken down. But since it was in a 20-minute video, it was still up. I'm like, all right, buddy. Yeah, I'm reading the Four Daemon Queens too. That was one of the ones I recommended in the Lilith video. So it's Hecate, Lilith, Delipator, and Tezarian, who I'm not actually familiar with at all. So yeah, there's a lot of bots and stuff like that. Yeah, that, or people who buy viewers, or buy subs, or buy likes and things like that on their channels and stuff. And I'm just like, all right, it's kind of like your mom paying people to be friends with you. I'm not poo-pooing like advertising in that sense, although I was just looking, as I was uploading videos last night, and looking at the monetization part on YouTube. They're now, I guess, beta testing, like, being able to do ad promotions of certain videos, I guess, to gain more views and stuff like that. And I'm like, you want me to spend $100 to maybe get 200 extra views on my video? So, yeah, that's true. I mean, you could do. I mean, I know where I live, there's some, like, usually if you go to like a halal butcher, you can, if you say I need some blood, like lamb's blood or whatever, for a recipe, maybe just research the recipe it's for, just in case they ask. Um, you can sometimes get like lamb's blood or something like that. I guess if you're making like blood pudding, is that it? Blood sauce? I forget. There are some recipes that call for blood in it and whatnot, but food recipes. Yeah, that's true. I could see that, the red wine being a substitute for blood. I mean, the Christians have been doing it for you know for a, well, not maybe for so much for scrying, but like as the body and blood of Christ. Um, Although I contest that the communion wafer, if it was truly tasting like the body of Christ, it would taste like chicken, because everything tastes like chicken, meat wise, or the long pork. Sorry, I'm getting dark and grim on that. I watch too many weird documentaries in my spare time. Yeah, I mean, the thing that would, with blood scrying, that would get, on the technical side, would get a little difficult, is the coagulation. So you might need to add like an anticoagulant to it in order for it not to just clot up into like clumps, because blood be doing that. Yeah, Moon likes crystals too. With She either rubbed her face on, sniffed them. She would occasionally rub her face. Some she rubbed with her left side, some she rubbed with the right side, and some she would do like the full body, like pass by with. I was like, "Do you like this, Crystal Moon?" You can do scrying with crystals too. Like one of the cool ways you could do it with a crystal. It wouldn't work with all of them, and I really need to remember to bring my crystal tools. I think they're upstairs. But like if you have a pen light, or even a black light or a black pen light, and or like a jeweler's loop, like a 10 or 20 times magnification jeweler's loop, and I mean on more opaque crystals, you're not going to get as much. But this one. So like on something like this, you might get more. One's a little bit opaque. This is actually, I think, an angel aura quartz. And this one, now some of the aura clad ones are just like chemical. Like I'll see like titanium ones. This particular one is, it was quartz that was treated with gold, silver, and platinum. So you kind of get that extra energy with it. So I use these a lot. But there are some places that just use like cheap chemicals to create the visual illusion on that. So yeah, I highly recommend the 4 Daemon Queens too. I just started that one a couple weeks ago. I think it just came out like within the past. She's a very prolific writer, so she constantly has a lot of things coming out. Yeah, I generally, I mean, I highly recommend S. Conley's work. I've read a lot. There's chunks of it I've read on like Kindle, and there's things I have the physical books for. Like I always keep the wart cunning for demonolators on my desk. Yeah, seed quartz are awesome. I love Lemurian quartz. I think my Lemurians are over there, or one of my Lemurians. I generally have crystals everywhere in my house. What do I have in? Oh, I have a lot of cool carved crystals. I don't know how well this is gonna show up. This is one of my SNEC crystals. That's the back of it. So there's a lot of people that do. It's actually got like the full like snakeskin texture to it too, which is kind of cool. And I have another. I think this is jade. It's sort of a snake wrapped around a dagger. Yeah, I'm very sad though. I had a fluorite tower, and when I was rearranging stuff, I dropped it on the floor and broke the tip off the tower. But yeah, I have a lot of nifty crystals. I just moved everything around on my altar in order to dust everything. So, I mean, some of them, like this is just sort of like a carnelian flame. I always have my crystal show and tell. And a big bonky honk of, well, this is actually not my largest chunk of, I love smoky quartz. Smoky quartz is actually it's one of my favorite stones to use for like transmuting energies, or for like any kind of transmutation spell. I actually have and it's also very protective from like theft. So I have a huge piece of smoky. I mean, it's probably about this big. I mean, it's very hefty. It's in my window. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, to answer your question, you have a special interest in the infernal feminine through your approach, though your approach isn't very traditional. Build your own traditions. Like I am very much of a fuck tradition kind of person. So yeah, I have Drawing Down Belial as well by S. Conley, which is about different types of divination. Which was confusing because I was assuming the book was going to be a little bit more about Belial. But one of the other books I have on Belial that hopefully I can maybe. Oh, that's Drawing Down Belial. Where's the. I think it's called The Chants of Belial. which is a really good book. No, that's not it. I moved everything and now I don't know where anything is. Stupid me. But yeah, there's a book called The Chance of Belial. I think it's by Asenath Mason and Edgar Cavell, or it's from Temple of Ascending Flame, something like that. But that one's really good. Well, that's cool. I have a nice piece of lemon quartz. I like there's some stones. Aragonite is really good for like focus, especially if you have ADHD. I just do not like raw aragonite because to me, sometimes sometimes certain crystals. I was talking about this with my teacher last week. Like to me, raw aragonite looks like the bubonic plague pustules people would get. Tumbled aragonite looks much nicer. That's one like I'm like, ugh, it just looks like you've got some kind of awful diseased blister. And Dalmatian jasper just looks like chopped up slugs. I don't actually know that much about Tezrian, so I think it's Tezirian. I don't know much about that one. I had to, when I was filming the video, I had to actually pause to like look up which one it was because I couldn't remember. It You need all the ADHD stones for real. Yeah, there's quite a few that are good for like folk. I think iolite maybe. Um, Aragonite is definitely one that's good for folk like for ADHD focus stuff. Um, a lot of grounding stones help with that too. Like I usually keep the stones I have on my desk around me. I have a lot of black moonstone, a big piece, a septarian nodule, the bigger piece. I know I have a piece of lapis lazuli sitting there. I think mostly black moonstone. Oh, and I have some elite shungite. Like shungite is good for if you're sensitive to like was it EMP, like electromagnetic kind of stuff, like interference and things like that. Like shungite's really good for that. Oh yeah, I have a hard time with some of the like the text to speech apps or like oh the ones on TikTok are horrible. I haven't tried the Kindle Voice one, but yes, like they're so that again is one of those things that goes into that uncanny valley. Like it sort of like sounds human, but not quite. Um, yeah, I mean it depends with Audible. Like not everyone has their stuff on there. Some do, some don't, or some have a couple things, but not everything. IG is Instagram. That's usually how people uh, abbreviate it. Shungite. Yeah, I think it's Shungite. Shungite. Do I have any? Shungite is good also for keeping your technology in line. I usually keep one on or around my router, which I don't know where it's at. It's back there somewhere. They also make like shungite charging plates, which you can kind of like, or like if you're really sensitive to things like that come from like cell phones, like the electromagnetic stuff. Like I have a square plate that's like that big. Like you could put your phone on that, or you can keep that around like your computer kind of stuff. To Shugnite, yeah. Shungite, the prices on it have gone up because it is only mined in like one place in Russia. So there are some stones that only come from Russia, and it's very frustrating right now because there's some of my favorite stones. Like I love Udalite. That one, it's just beautiful. That and Chariorite, those and Shungite are ones that only come from Russia. Yeah. Shungite would be great to put in organite and stuff like that. I mean, it's one of those like really protective, grounding. It's very. Some people will use. You could use shungite to like purify your water. I would just there's different methods. Like some crystals are not safe to put in water at all. Like some people are like, oh, I like to drink crystal elixirs and stuff or gem essences. You just have to make sure that by putting it in water, it's not going to either damage the crystal or leach something really bad out of it, like arsenic or aluminum or heavy metals and stuff like that. But like shungite, you can use for like water for purification. Like if you were out camping, you could put shungite in your water to purify it like that. Well, you put they actually have one somewhere. There's a couple different methods. There's like the direct method where you could put some, like if you took a pitcher or a jar or something like that, you could put shungite in the bottom of it, pour the water over it, let it kind of absorb the crystal energy and stuff like that. They do make some. There's the indirect method would be kind of like putting it in something and then in like the water. So I do that with stuff that is not safe, water safe. And they do make some like water, like the water bottles. There'll be like a little chamber at the bottom where you can put crystals in. They don't touch the water, but they're close to it, so you would still be getting the energy from it. And a fun thing you can do with shungite is, when I was doing my crystal training, if you take a flashlight and pop a couple pieces of shungite in it, it will actually turn the flashlight on, because crystals do have some do produce like electrical currents. So I actually tested that out, and it does in fact turn the flashlight on, which is kind of cool. So I need to do more. I need to do more videos, like more educational videos on my YouTube channel, kind of about crystals and stuff. Because the piezoelectric crystals is what a lot of them are. So now some of them are like obsidian is a volcanic glass. Jet is cool. Um, it is very. I don't have any down here, but jet is very disconcerting because when you pick it up, it is so lightweight that it doesn't feel right. Because when you pick up a stone, you expect it to have a certain sort of weight to it, and this is very not. But what jet is it's like a petrified wood that was. It's like almost like the combination of a petrified wood and volcanic glass. So, yeah, that's one of my favorite black stone right now is Numite, and I think I can type it into here. Hold on. I think that's the correct spelling of it. Numite is my new favorite black stone. Numite is one of the oldest stones on the planet, like billions of years old stone. Like when we talk about moldavite, having been formed through a asteroid impact, I think, or meteoroid impact 15 million years ago. Numite was formed like 4 billion years ago. So it is it's got some old primordial energy to it. And I'm just starting to get in touch with working with that stone right now. But like Numite it's not. I think that one, if I remember correctly, it's only mined once a year from a particular location in Greenland. The only reason they can mine it once a year is because of how cold and icy Greenland is. So, yeah, that's the thing with jet. It is like it's so light because sometimes, like when you line up your black stones, especially if they're all tumbled and polished, it is really hard to tell them apart. But jet, you can always tell because it's so light. because sometimes, like, depending on the black onyx and or if it's like tumbled and polished black tourmaline, black obsidian, stuff like that, they're gonna all start looking alike after a while. Is Numite what they call the TV stone? I'm not sure. I haven't heard that. There's a lot of stones that have different nicknames or trade names for it. Some of them are trademarked, like Noble Serpentine, which is a small lighter green stone than regular just serpentine. Is it's trademarked or trade name. A lot of times it goes by heliorite. I'll spell that out because it's a really stupid name and sounding, but that's what Noble Serpentine is sometimes called. So sometimes you'll see stones that have it's the same stone, but they have multiple names for it. I love apophyllite too, Bonnie. That's one of my favorite ones. That one is just amazing for like psychic ability, your upper chakras, third eye stuff. I love apophyllite for that. Yeah, it blows my mind how light jet is, because you would think it would just. It looks like you would assume it would have like the same density of like obsidian or tourmaline, and it just totally doesn't. Oh, Ulexite. Yeah, there's so very many stones out there. I mean, I have gigantic like encyclopedias of stones. One of the books I am anxiously looking forward to reading is The Curious Lore of Precious Stones. This book was originally published in this is an updated, well, not an updated version of it. This was originally published in 1913. So it's got like the old lore. Like this is where the lore really comes from about different stones. Like one of the reasons, like I think this was I read this in the Grand Grimoire. Like one of the reasons bloodstone is so protective and also associated within demonolatry is that was the stone that was used by the caster to protect them from the demons they were invoking at the time. Oh, I can't put all my crystals out, and uh, I pretty much at this. I mean, I have like well because I sell crystals as well, and I have like I buy things in bulk. Like I have just like rolling cases full of stones. Sometimes I don't even know what I have. I've got like all my spirit stone jars over there. I've got all of them interspersed. I mean, some of the stones I have are very expensive. I would not be putting my moldavite outside because moldavite also has a way of getting lost. But going back to the bloodstone thing, one of the reasons bloodstone is referred to as bloodstone because its technical name is heliotrope, is that if you put bloodstone on a wound or a cut, it will actually start I guess the mineral properties within the bloodstone actually your blood will start to clot if you scrape yourself and put bloodstone on it. So yeah, there's so many things that go by different names. Like, I missed a couple of comments here. Okay, so I got the Moonstone. Moonstone is great for I like that for Lilith. Moonstone is also great if you're doing any kind of like work for like soulmates or twin flames or reconnecting love in that. Moonstone is amazing. There are also different types of moonstone. I have black moonstone. There's peach moonstone. There's regular moonstone. Actually, I just saw some green moonstone recently, which is more. That one is more geared towards money stuff. Red calcite. Calcite is one I am particular about. I don't like raw calcite because of the texture of it. And it might just be me because I have weird sensory stuff. It's calcite. I don't know if I have any that's nearby, but like the raw calcite pieces, it's like they're almost have like a waxy yet finish to them, yet it's kind of chalky at the same time. So like tumbled calcite a little better, unless it's honey calcite or blue calcite. Orange calcite, I don't like at all. Do I have any books by Melody? Like Love is in the Earth, She Goes Deep. I don't know offhand. I'd have to check. I have a lot of books. If you sense spirit activity as electrical shifts in the atmosphere, maybe shungite is a stone that you could use for warding because it would. Yeah, you could definitely use it for that. I mean, most of the black stones are really good for absorbing, like black tourmaline. They're really good for absorbing negative energy and stuff like that. Yeah, the red jasper too. There's also one that's it looks very similar to bloodstone. It's called Dragon's Blood Jasper, which is pretty cool too. I like that one. I don't think I have any handy by me. But there's a lot of and some stones can look so different when they're raw versus when they're tumbled. And some form in really interesting natural shapes. Like I think pyrite naturally forms into cubes. I mean, sometimes you'll see the ones that are a little more rugged around the edges, but like I have some cube pyrite, which is just amazing. Yeah, I'm a gigantic, I'm a crystal nerd too. But I did also take I do have two certifications in crystal work, so and like crystal healing and stuff like that. And also my crystal Reiki certification as well. I'm also a nerd for getting certified in things. But I originally kind of I started doing like the classes in crystals because I mean I kind of looked at crystals as the ooh shiny of it all. This is really a cool rock. I do not know what the fuck this rock does. I feel nothing when I pick up this rock. It's just a shiny thing. And I really wasn't beyond the visual appeal of crystals. I didn't really have I didn't really understand sort of the science behind them. And that's one of the things I am also a giant nerd for is understanding the science behind whether it's the science behind herbs and botanicals and essential oils, crystals, all that. I really like to learn how things work the way they work. Um, because like when we look at herbalism, you know, the Western world kind of poo-poos things sometimes as oh that's just but there's so much that's based on it. They might look down their nose at like traditional Chinese medicine or herbalism, as being curative in the same way in similar modalities that Western medicine is. Now, it's not to say that you're gonna cure cancer by holding a piece of chalcopyrite. You probably aren't, but there are things that can help with different um, conditions because prior to the past 100 or so years, that's what people had to rely on was the native plants to the region that they were in as being curative. I mean, the reason wormwood is called wormwood is because it's a vermifuge, which was something that was used if you got intestinal worms. You'd take wormwood, it would flush the worms out of you. That's why it's called wormwood. So, some of these things have very specific medicinal properties to them. Um, Now, wormwood is also very entheogenic. It was used in absinthe. It was illegal in the United States for a long time, as was absinthe. But it's what makes things like mugwort and wormwood psychoactive is the chemical thuzone, which is in it, which can also, in very high doses, be toxic. It is also abortifacient, which is why some of those herbs are um, can be used in particular teas to remedy certain situations that I don't want to get shadow banned for talking about because the world is stupid. I actually had a video. I've since deleted my personal TikTok, but yeah, I had a video talking about herbs that are amenagogues, which just means something that will cause, your to help regulate your menstrual cycle. Let's just put it that way, or to start your menstrual cycle, and it actually got taken down for being harmful content. Um, I was after Roe versus Wade, so world's dumb. I collected stones, woods, dirts, and leaves as a kid, not knowing why. I used to too. I have some of like my earliest memories were from my dad had given me. I still have my mom searching for it. I think my dad. I had two crystals, and this was when I was like maybe 4 years old. One was a sort of a raw piece of rose quartz, and the other was a carved um quartz donkey. I think the donkey may have broken at some point in time, but I don't know if we still have it. Um, but I've had my mom searching, for these various things over the years. But like, I think my family also actually have. Hold on, let me see if I can pick it up. This actually came from my grandfather. It's a geode from the Gobi Desert in Mongolia. My brother got the better half of it. Jerk. But sorry, it's very heavy. I'm not entirely sure what stone it is. It's got some like druzy in it, which is this kind of formation. Um, yeah, I have no idea what stone this is. Probably some kind of agate or whatever. But it's very. I mean, you can see it's very large. My brother has the other half of it, but yeah, we've always kind of had things like that around. I have some of the. I also have some. I think these came from my grandfather as well. Like these little like agate slices. I mean, these I've had forever, but I've always had stuff like that, and yeah, I've got some cool shit. Oh, let me scroll back here. This has me thinking about how we believe all things are sentient, and having thought. Thought is electrical pulses and spirits methods. Yes, I have. It's one of the Gen things I talk about. Books are sentient beings to me. I don't know why. I've always thought this. I'm like, this book knows. Like if I leave this book, wherever, I'm like, this book is seeing me do something, or this book is observing me. And then maybe it's just sort of the thought form that comes from the work that the author did, in that there's all the knowledge in the book, and therefore you're gaining knowledge from it, and that knowledge is sort of sentient in that sense. But books are sentient beings. That's why I prefer to buy new books. I know this makes absolutely no sense, because old books just have creepy energy to them to me. I like how they look. I just don't necessarily like their energy. You can tell from tourmaline, from Numite by the sheets they take raw and tumble, because they feel, yeah, like tourmaline flakes so easily. So that one's pretty easier to tell from Numite. Yes. So yeah, I'm very much. There was one of the great Gen experiences over the past week. I was at a gem show with one of my colleagues a few years ago, and we were walking past this antique jewelry stand who had just beautiful jewelry, and and maybe it's my neurospiciness and forgetting to filter sometimes when I'm in public, is that I walk by, I'm like, well, I can't wait until I die so I can haunt jewelry. Just explain this in the middle of like a trade show hall. I'm like, I'm gonna haunt jewelry after I die. But yeah, like it's when you think about this is just a rose quartz pointy thing. Ow, nice little self defense piece here. But we imprint our energy. We're energetic beings. The things we come in contact have energy of them. Like if you think about a book, paper is made from trees. Trees have energy. So we've got all these different things that have different energy signatures that we can imprint our energy on. So, like, when it comes to things like jewelry or books or anything like that, you know, just saying, if I gave this to someone, this is also going to have some of my energy to it. So if most people aren't as sensual, most people aren't as sensitive to energy as, say, people who, work in the energy field, in the energy healing field, or who are empathic, or who are witchy poos or whatever. Excuse me. So if you're sensitive to energy, you're going to pick up on that a lot more than maybe, just Joe Schmo down the street will. Like, I'm pretty sensitive to energy, so I'm going to pick up on the energy of an old book more than most people would. Yeah, I mean, when the thoughts are things and everything has a spirit. So, like, one of the things that you can do, like, there's a lot of talk about this, especially in, like, the herbalism field, is and the poison path field, is, meditating to get in contact or to get in touch with the plant spirits. And this doesn't have to be, like the plant spirit of peyote or something like that, or Mother Aya, or ayahuasca or something. I mean, you can get in touch with the plant spirit of anything, which is going to help communicate information to you from that plant, like to know how to use it, to understand what. And the same thing with crystals. I mean, you can do this to kind of get in touch with that energy of it, the spirit of it, in that sense. The plant spirit is pretty cool to look into, but I don't know why, but I don't like green calcite. I don't like green calcite either. That's the texture thing. It just has this weird waxiness to it, and then a little bit of chalkiness to it. But honey calcite is awesome. I don't know why. I love honey calcite. I don't like green calcite, yellow calcite, or orange calcite. I really don't like. Blue calcite is nice. I like blue calcite. Is good for, like, as I cough, anything like throat chakra related, communication, and removing any blockages there. There's a lot of things that you can use if you don't like blue calcite. You could use something that's similar to it, like blue lace agate or blue chalcedony. That would be good for the same thing. That's what is great about a lot of the stones, is that, oh, well, I don't like this one, but there's 10 other ones that you can use for the same thing. So I mean, I prefer, if there's like throat chakra communication ones, it's over there, but I have a nice little piece of blue lace agate that I use for that. Yeah, the texture thing that's something that goes into my, like, sensory processing, neurodivergent. There's a lot of textures, like, and it's one of those things, like, I've always, like, I have problems with foods because, like, I always be like, I'm a very textual eater. Like, I will eat raw carrots and raw green peppers till the cows come home. You cook them, I'll be like, wait for me, depending on how it's prepared. Like, if you cut carrots up into, like, very thin slices and, like, roast them, I'll eat them. Or as long as they have a little bit of a crunch to them. If they're just, like, steamed carrots and they're soft, bleh. Like, there's certain things I'll only eat in one prepared way. Like, I am generally opposed to the squash family as a whole. But I will eat grilled zucchini that has barbecue sauce on it, but it has to be char grilled. You don't like hateful fabrics like microfibers. Yeah, there are some fabrics that I consider to be hateful. Everyone was like, "Oh, satin sheets are amazing and sensual," and I put them on my bed. I'm like, "Ah!" They were so, like, if you've got any, like, I always felt like it clashed with, like, say, like, how you're, like, you can get, like, your heels can get calloused or something like that. Like, ugh. I just was like, nope. Satin sheets do not work for me. Hateful fabrics. I love that expression. I'm going to use that. Polyester is the most hateful fabric in the earth. Polyester. 100% polyester sucks. I'm not a huge fan of wool. I find a lot of wool things to be itchy. Yeah, I'm hit or miss on the texture. Like I love seafood, but like sometimes certain things like oysters, scallops, I can sometimes eat scallops and sometimes not. Um, yeah, satin sheets on feet. Oh. And I also cannot sleep with socks on. So every if the only way I will sleep with socks on is if I like pass out, or like I'm so dead tired I can't even muster the energy to take them off. Um, yeah, wool is very itchy. Like I just don't. That's not what I like. Like I have where for me where the sensory processing and chronic pain issues kind of collide sometimes causes issues because I'd be like, by the time I'm done with this, I'm gonna be like, it hurts to wear pants. And I'm just wearing like leggings. I mean, they're just cotton stretchy leggings. But I'll be like, it hurts to wear pants. My legs are encased in lead. Someone help me. Ugh, crawfish. There was a crawfish incident. 20. Oh God, I'm old. So back when I was finishing my college degree and doing photography, I hosted what was called which I called the surreal dinner party. Um, and we had very creative. We all dressed in elaborate costumes and decorated the house, and I did this crazy photo shoot. Like a friend was there in a gorilla costume. We were all dressed up, and we had created. I had all this elaborate dinnerware and crazy food and stuff like that. But um, for some reason, I thought crawfish would be a great idea to have, except for the fact that my idiot friends decided to make finger puppets out of the crawfish heads. And this was around the time that the Crab People episode of South Park came out. So everyone was like, crab people, with the crawfish heads. And I was finding crawfish everywhere. And we also there was a drink called Warp Core Breaches, which I think came out of like, there's a Star Trek. Moon, what are you doing? Moon, what are you doing? Are you trying to pack my orders for me? That's very, yeah, you are. Oh, that's very nice of you. So the Warp Core Breaches was all the types of rum, something purple, and dry ice. My house was sticky for months after this, and several people planted some Warp Core Breaches in the backyard. Um, they're very high in alcohol. One of my friends was so drunk she could not sit in a chair. She just kept falling out of it. And she was like, "Well, you're a floor person now." But yeah, that was a fun party. And now that I'm realizing that was 20 years ago, I just want to go cry. Um, and talk to and be like, old friends, we're old, old friends now. Because I mean, I was like, well, 20 years ago, I would have been 27. Yeah. And going back to the earlier part of the thing, I've led an interesting life. I think it's just part of being a creative person and whatnot. Um, all in the name of art. I have a lot of various art projects. There's a photo series I did. I think it was in 2004. It's the series I did of I don't know how to describe it other than the funeral in a bathtub. So it's like me, yeah, I've written all over the walls in like crayon or eyeliner or paint or something. It was to make it look like I died or something. I'm holding like all these calla lilies and flowers, and there's bottles of alcohol and pill bottles everywhere and cigarettes, and I'm just in the bathtub. But what I used to love to do, because I used to do a lot of black and white, like film and darkroom photography, because But they used to make these amazing photo paints, so I could hand paint the photos like in different like to add color to them. It wouldn't look like a color photo the way we would think of a color photo, but it was really amazing to do color photo, like to do photo paints like and stuff. I loved doing that. But yeah, a lot of my experiences are just me bored doing creative things. Like the time my old roommate and I found this big, very long phallic piece of foam that I think we paper mache and decorated and turned into a penis and hung it out our dorm room window, which overlooked the courtyard by the cafeteria. Fun times. Because that's the kind of gal I am. Hanged a big wang out the window made of foam. I think I just like to. I think it's just one of those things where I just find. My sense of humor is very much based on absurdity and surrealism. And my cats are now on my work. Well, Corey is on a spinny chair, and Moon is on my workstation. I'm gonna probably have to go soon, also because I have to pee. Cats, what are we doing? You gonna pack my orders? That would be nice. No, they're not gonna pack my orders for me. Jerks. They're very good little office managers and coworkers. But yeah, the cereal dinner party was a lot of fun. I've held like some of the like I was a party girl, so I was a great like party host and party planner. I think that must have been my ADHD side because my autistic side is a little more like subdued and antisocial. Yes, Mexican Dream Herb. I made a Mexican Dream Herb tea once, and I wish I had the video clip of me as this is me drinking. It's very bitter. This is me going, oh, I'm going to drink this tea now. I was like, yeah, some of those herbs are very bitter. I do use Mexican Dream Herb, and I would say it's maybe more smoking it, or if you use it in a tea, put something in there that's a lot more powerful, like hibiscus and a lot of honey or lemon, something because it's very bitter. Um, yeah, Mexican Dream Herb is good, good for that. I use that in a lot of tinctures and some of my flying ointments too. There's also ones like African Dream Roots and African Dream Herb. They're the African Dream Herb are like the beans. The roots are similar to that. People sometimes chew on them, but they have similar kind of properties to it. Hello, babies. What are we up to? Cats. Yeah, there's a lot of entheogenic herbs like that that are not necessarily as potent or toxic as say like deadly nightshade or belladonna or datura or henbane or things like that can be used for relaxation or meditation, lucid dreaming, astral travel, things like that. So that's interesting. Servitors that act like surge breakers for anything trying to get in your head because that's excess thought energy. That's true. I need to make some more servitors. I need like a little servitor shelf. Um, I like to make spirit houses for my servitors. Like sometimes, people make, servitors that exist only in like the astral or that are like something internalized as part of their body. I like to give mine like a little like, spirit house kind of thing. So Moon, what are you doing? Hi. You look like you're about to get in trouble. Is that true? Hi. What's up, baby girl? I'm probably going to wrap up soon because it's going on about 3 hours and I have to pee. So if anyone has any last questions or comments before I wrap up, hi Moon. Oh, I think Moon wants to say goodnight. Hello, Moon. Should I scrim now? You want to say goodnight, Moon? It's a full, well, it was a full moon. I love when cats do. Ah, thank you for tearing my necklace off. How did you? What did you do to my necklace? This is like the second necklace chain I've broken in like the past day. Okay, hold on. I found it. There was a little loop which was in my shirt. Yeah, you broke that, Moon. I might be able to fix that. It's got a little loopy thing on it, so it's not too. There we go. Yes, I hope everyone has a good rest of the week. I will be back again next week, and I've got videos dropping at least through Wednesday so far. So thank you, Moon. I'm trying to put my necklace back together. She's like, "Oh, toy." Yeah, I have videos dropping. I have one about ritual tools, one about the validity of your practices. Oh, you're gonna play Smack the Crystal? And 2 parts. Yeah, my boobs catch everything. And 2 parts of my This Old Witch Journal series from the late 90s, including my Book of Prophecy that I wrote, and some various other things about past lives and dreams and visions. I did it in 2 parts because it was ending up pretty long. I have to go through. I have like an entire box of journals, but it's really been interesting going through them because I've been discovering like a lot of stuff that's been with me for so long that I've been channeling sigils for decades without knowing it. And still don't know what half of them are. So anyways, I am going to wrap up. I love you all. Thank you for watching. Yay. Hooray for boobies. And we will end on that note. Have a good one.